Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and welcome to Backlash Saturday. I'm so used to as an 80s and 90s kid, you'll say Sunday, but WWE wants to give us a curveball. It's okay. We used to it. We all hood here. But today I have a gentleman that is absolutely blazing a trail for himself on the independent wrestling scene. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Rampage. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, brother. Welcome.
What up, Joey Panther? What's going on, man? Hey, blessed to be here.
Man, just Rampage, baby. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside. Welcome to the globally known podcast everybody loves to hate. But this is about you today. Let's introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Let's do it. Well, as you know, it's Rampage Michael. It's your boy. You know what I'm saying? Based out of Arizona. I've been in the wrestling game for a little bit now. And, I'm in here making a statement. I'm walking money, Joe. Everywhere I go, I'm walking money. I'm not afraid to tell how it is. It's a spotlight's always on me, baby. So I feel like I'm a walking billboard everywhere I go. Spotlight's always on me, baby.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. It's always good to show what you can do in this wrestling world, because a lot of people, they hold back, and it's just something that you could show the world what you could do by just like doing one or two things in the ring, and you could gain fans forever. So, like, who are some of your inspirations in becoming a professional wrestler?
Oh man, that's actually a great question. To be honest, growing up as a kid, wrestling has been always in my family. Since I was, I want to say, like around like 6 years old. I remember watching my first, pay-per-view event with my mom and my grandfather. But to be honest, what really inspired me was Triple H. Because as a kid, who doesn't want to, come out with a T-shirt with the water bottle, spitting the water up in the air. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I was saying to myself, I'm like, you want to know what? I'm like, I always wanted to be an actor, and I always wanted to, be like, that big tough guy in the room, So I was like, you want to know what? I was like, let me give this a try. And I honestly, like I said, since I was like a little kid, just watching Triple H, and I always said to myself, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to, have the spotlight on me, spit the water out in the air, and just be able to have a character that I could, inspire others and pretty much enjoy, like the same thing that I was watching. So, honestly, Triple H is what got it for me. Was my inspiration, just because the whole DX, the whole authority, and just who he was, because it just fueled me to go. And I was like, hey, like, if you could storytell, I could storytell just as better.
Awesome. So I know you, like, with the generational gap with a lot of people in the wrestling world. I'm 42. When did you officially decide to find a wrestling school, and was it easy or hard to find it?
So to be honest, it was very tough. Out here in Arizona, there's only 2 training centers. There's one in Mesa, Arizona, which is Phoenix Championship Wrestling, and there's another one out here, just like I want to say close to Northern Phoenix. It's Arizona Wrestling Federation. So age does play a huge factor into wrestling. I will say that, because this sport, it's not made for everybody. I grew up playing football, basketball, soccer, like you name it. But when it comes to wrestling, like you have to be in shape. Like you're bumping your body on metal, wood. You maybe have sometimes, depending on the surface, like this much of like padding. But I honestly said to myself, I'm like, I used to be around like 300 and like 25 pounds, right? And I was starting to, get into like my weight loss journey, and I was starting to like follow up more on wrestling. And I said to myself, I'm like, okay, if I can get down to around like 200 and like 70 pounds. I think I want to give this a try. And I was in the gym constantly every day. I just kept motivating myself by watching like, training videos and just, of Triple H just saying how he would always storytell with his body and like this was his blood passion. And I said to myself, I'm like, hey, like I'm 30 years old. It's hard to admit that age when you're in a wrestling game. I'm 30 years old and I'm like, okay, I'm like, uh, right now, they look for talent around like mid 20s. And like, if you're like coming up that like, 30ish age, it's like, okay, hey, what do you have to show that you could, that you still got some left in the tank? And, like I said, I just didn't give up. I actually tried out for Phoenix Championship Wrestling. And I want to say it kind of like inspired me even more because I was training for it in a different way. Like I was more focused on like, the appearance, bodybuilding, and, I wasn't doing cardio. I wasn't, doing that like, like the ring, cardio, the wrestling conditioning. And I actually, I failed the tryout.
Oh my gosh.
I came, there was about like, maybe like, I want to say like 15 people. And like out of those 15 people, I thought like I had it because like there was people who were throwing up, who were purple in the face, and like everybody was like, I was like, okay, but like I still fought through it. And I got called into the room, and I want to say about like 6 or 7 wrestlers were like, hey, like, you need to work on this. And I didn't get upset. I took that as motivation because like, like of course you have to fail to, to get better sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
And I took that as motivation. And then one day I was on my computer and I just looked up like, Arizona Wrestling. And then all of a sudden, Arizona Wrestling Federation came up. So I was like, wow. I was like, so there's another training facility. I was like, okay. I was like, let me do some of my research. And I ended up I went on like this is like a random Monday. Like I was like, well, you know what? I was like, I'm feeling good, and I went, and it's been a journey since then. I was able to find my true character. I was able to get the confidence, and I just didn't give up because I said to myself, I'm like, hey, like, yeah, I failed. Yeah, I got knocked down. Yeah, I was told, hey, you're not ready, but if this is something that you want to do, you have to continue to fight. And I was like, hey, if you can't go with option one, let's try option two. And option two was the best thing ever because my current trainer, LT, who's at Arizona Wrestling Federation, I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for him. So I know that was quite a bit of a little bit of a story, but
okay. I've heard longer.
It's tough out here for Arizona wrestling. If you're honestly looking to find like, that training, because with it being two centers, it's very political. Politics plays a huge advantage into it. So, based on like your wrestling style or based on like who it's honestly like a pick and choose on your destination. Both schools are great. You do learn a lot, between the coaches and just everything in general. Like it's great training out here, but pretty much it's really based off of like where you feel is going to be best for you at the end of the day. It's like, are you going to be able to put up with, just the mental toughness and, as far as like, are you able to drive out to Mesa? Are you able to drive out to Phoenix? But it's, it's only those two options as of right now.
So where does Rampage Michaels come from?
Man, it took me a while to actually come up with that name. So one day I was actually like, just like saying to myself, okay, like I need a ring name. I need like what am I gonna call myself? So growing up, Rampage Jackson, right? I used to watch UFC. I grew up on the era with like Rampage Jackson, Chuck Liddell, and all that. So when Ultimate Fighter first came out, Rampage Jackson, he actually like kicked down a door. And I was like, I don't know if you saw that episode. Yeah. So he kicked down the door. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy's crazy. I was like, okay. And whenever like I would play sports, like I would like with football, like I always brought the intensity. and everybody said like, this guy's a little Rampage over here. This guy always goes on the Rampage. So I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I don't want to like, like copy off of like Rampage Jackson, but I was like, when have you heard a wrestling name in, like somebody named Rampage in like WWE or like AEW or like TNA? So I'm like, okay, it's like, so I was like, okay, so I'm like, let's go with the first name Rampage. So my middle name is Michael. So I was like, okay, Rampage Michaels. I was like, this is it. I was like, this is it. I was like, it goes together. RM. I was like, first name's Christopher. I was like, Christopher Michael. And I was like, Rampage Michaels. I was like, hey. I was like, bada boom, bada bing. I was like, it mixes. I was like, let's do it. I was like, and Rampage is official. And that's how I came up with that.
Awesome. So how long did it take you to, like, when you first got the green light from your trainer to say, okay, you could start getting in ring action?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like the first time you went through the curtain? And did you have gear, or you were still wearing like the basketball shorts and black hoodie?
Yeah. So to be honest, first things first, I said I wasn't nervous, but man, I was shitting bricks. I was so nervous. I was like, I was sweating. I wasn't getting the cold sweats, but I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I was kind of nervous. But if you're not nervous, and it's like, all right, like you don't, what I'm saying? It's like you don't love what you're doing. You have to have that the little tingling on the arms. But pretty much when my trainer gave me the green light, I was like, wow. I was like, I worked this hard. I worked that hard to get that okay. It honestly took me, I want to say about like 7 months with training, with just the consistency of doing practice matches, learning moves, techniques. Like there was days where I got hurt and I was like, hey, I got to keep pushing through it. But yeah, it took like I said, 6-7 months. I caught on pretty quick because like I said, I have the athletic background. But the first time I stepped through the curtain, man, like I was nervous, but then I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is not my first sport. This is not my first time that I'm like performing in front of fans. Yes, this is something new that I'm doing in front of a lot of people, but at the same time, having that spotlight on me, like nothing beats it. Like if I could, like who doesn't want like, hundreds of people, looking at you, like beat somebody up, for like 6-7 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like that kind of like, put the nerves, that like the nervousness like out the way. So I was like, hey, I got this. But just because like with wrestling, if a move you do looks kind of like, let's say, not the cleanest, then that's where it's like, okay, fan reaction is a little bit different because that's where it's like, all right, like it just, I don't know, I feel like it just gets to you a little bit more. But no, yeah. Like I said, the first time that I stepped through that curtain, man, I was nervous. But as soon as I just got to the ring and I was staring at my opponent, I was like, all right, I was like, let's do it. I'm ready to roll.
Awesome. So, how many matches have you had so far in your career?
So as of right now, I want to say I've had like about like. I actually just got done tracking this yesterday. I want to say I have like around like 26 matches. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is only in like I want to say a year and a half time span. So that's
Wow.
pretty decent, for what it is. That's of course like with bookings and of course like like building a character and just like having to earn those matches. So it for a year and a half, like I said, to have that amount of matches, like I can't complain because I honestly made the best out of every opportunity, and all those matches got me to where I'm at right now.
So, how many times a day do you actually like train? Like, I know people train like only like certain days. How many times a day do you do just training?
Yeah, so to be honest, I train Monday through Friday. In the ring, on Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, that's when I'm in the gym. To be honest, I do go to the gym every day. I try and take a break, but it's just you have to stay in shape. Like you have to stay in shape. So between I'll go to the gym, for about like an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll go to training. So I start my day at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So, but then I don't go to the gym until like around like 3, 4, and then from like 5 to like I want to say like 10 o'clock, I'll be in the ring, training, working on moves, cutting promos, and yeah, pretty much Monday through Wednesday are honestly my crazy days because that's where it's like I'll run on like a few hours of sleep, and then Thursdays and Fridays I'll be in the gym. But what I started doing now, since I do have a few matches coming up that are like very important. I have been throwing a little training sessions in on Saturdays and like Sundays. Just because like I just want to stay sharp because you never know. There's an opportunity. Like I'm wrestling next weekend. I didn't expect it. I got a phone call. It's like, hey, you want to come wrestle? I'm like, well, you know what? I've been training. I've been working on something new. So it's like, yeah. So it's nonstop with me. So yeah, I'm one of those guys where it's like, hey, like I have nothing else to do but train and wrestle. So
Yeah, it's for you guys. It's like you guys could be like sitting at home. Do you think on a Thursday, like I didn't not book this weekend. It's like my job. I think I'm gonna be free. Like I'll probably be free on Thursday to do whatever, do some cleaning, and then I get the text message Wednesday night. Oh, Joe, are you free on Thursday? And I'm just like that meme of Beetlejuice. He's just like, he's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Just sitting here,
just relaxing, just hanging out,
relaxing. It's like me. I you should never get this, and I'm like wrestlers. If you're watching this, I always want this. Like I'm sitting there in my room watching TV, watching something on Netflix. I don't know something, and I'll be like, hey, my phone goes whoop. Netflix, Instagram logo appears on the phone, and I'm just like, I heard about your podcast. I want to be on there. Oh, that's nice. 2 posts. How old is this person? Like, because wrestlers, they post every day. Like I get nervous if I see a person with 2 posts. I'm like, they're either 17, new to the business, and just freshly green off the farm, little cute little cow, little doe eyes. Yeah, that's a hand gesture.
It's crazy because I'm very big on that as far as like with the posting, the content, because I say to myself, I'm like, if you're not like producing like like short little videos, if you're not like little highlight reels, like if you're not like like just getting your face out there, like showing content, showing like what you could do, it's like what's the purpose of getting into the wrestling business? It's World Wrestling Entertainment for a reason. You want to stay active. You want to be able to show the world, like, hey, like, I could do multiple things. I could talk. I could do this. I could do that. And it's like if you're afraid to like show your skills, it's like what's the purpose of getting into this business? Because that's what it's supposed to be about. You're supposed to post content. You're supposed to brand yourself. And that's all I'm about. I made it a goal from day one. I was like, hey, I'm making sure that everybody knows who Rampage Michaels is, and that's been a mission since day one.
Yeah, like my dad doesn't get it because my dad, Papa Panther, and my dad, one of my mom and dad are both my very big supporters. By the way, happy early Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Wrestling sons and moms, wrestlers I've met that are moms. All love you all and wish you all a very beautiful and happy Mother's Day. If you have to wrestle tomorrow, kick some ass, mamas. Show some wins. I have plenty of mamas that I've had in this podcast in the past. Mother Endless, she's another mother of the wrestling business. She's a psycho mother. We had Big Mama from NWA. Love you, Big Mama. She sent me an awesome T-shirt. I've worn it once in the press. People go, Big Mama. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to get in the way with that mama. Then run you over. She put a chain around your neck, drag you behind her on a motorcycle like Kermit. There's so many. It's just amazing that like. My dad, my Papa Panther, he always goes, he sees me post like a poster, like your poster, and then he'll see me post a clip somebody sends me, and he'll go, why'd you put 2 in a row? And I'm like, Dad, the wrestler knows that I care, so that they know I collab. So that post that I did after his post will go on his wall, and it'll just be like, on my wall. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be on my wall, and it'll just be a because sometimes they get wrestlers to collab with me, like a female wrestler from female wrestler from England through Ashley. I did an episode with her last year, and she finally put clips up because she's a busy woman. She does a lot of stuff in the UK, a lot of matches and stuff like that. She just did a clip like from the episode, and she posted it. And she collabed with me. My dad's like, "Well, why'd you post 2 in a row?" I'm like, "I didn't do that." She posted it, and then it's like me 5 o'clock in the morning trying not to yell when I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, "I didn't post it. Why are you talking so low?" It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, Dad. I'm not going to yell across the table. Puerto Rican, we're not going to talk like, Dad. Hey, that's why I did that. New Yorkers.
Oh man, that's the worst part, especially out here, because my homies, like, this is what they always hate this. Whenever we're out, and if I run into another New Yorker, we could talk for hours, literally hours. If we have to be somewhere, it's like, hey, all right, we have like maybe like 15 minutes to like maybe like, all right, like just shenanigans, just walk around, do this. But it's like, oh wait, hold on, you from New York? Oh yeah, Staten Island. Oh, how's it going? Hey, oh, you remember this place? Oh, this, that. And like literally, like you look at the clock, 45 minutes go by, and it's like, oh wow, all right, it was nice to meet you. If you got social media, this, that, all right, I'll talk to you later. But you know, it's bad, man. It's bad out here. I keep.
And you can't talk quiet because it's New Yorkers. I was at my job, and me and this person were talking about food, and all of a sudden, Katz's Delicatessen came up in the conversation. And I said, "Yeah, I follow them. If you're trying to lose weight, don't follow them on Instagram. Every day they post something new. Like today, they posted them doing some kind of pastrami sandwich, like stabbing it, bringing it out of the steamer, and slicing it, and putting it on the sandwich. The big thick boy. Like I'm just like, oh man, I'm trying to get lose weight. No,
that's the one thing that I hate, especially because I started this new diet. So, and it's crazy because literally, like the first thing I'll do as soon as after I'm done with the gym, I'll go on my phone. I'll start like scrolling through Facebook, and I'll start seeing like these new recipes and like who's like throwing like a steak on the grill or who's doing this. I'm just like, yo, like why? Like why is food so good? Why does it look so good? Why does it taste so good?
Why does it be so mean in the internet? Why? Right? But then I also follow a lot of female wrestlers, and then it's like I'm trying to be good. My mom's walking by me, and then it's a picture of a female wrestler. Like, I'm just like, my mom's like, "What are you looking at,
Joey? What are you doing,
Joe? What is that?" And I'm like, "Mom, it's wrestlers. It's what they call it nowadays. Give me your phone." No.
Oh man,
Joe, Mama Panther, ow. Yeah. So since it's like, it's it's Saturday with the wrestling. Do you ever imagine like a younger Rampage like telling him wrestling pay-per-views are now going to be on Saturdays? Like, what would you think back in the day? Do you think it would have flew if Vince McMahon tossed a Saturday pay-per-view on Saturday?
You see, this is the thing. Saturdays for me back in the day when I was a little kid, when I was younger, I was always out and about. You know, I was either hanging out at the high school or just, like I either had a baseball game. Knowing if wrestling was on Saturdays back on pay-per-views, it would have sucked because one, I probably would have had like no space on my DVR. It probably would have been like all pay-per-views. But it's like I don't think I would have been as like tuned in. I don't know. Like
me neither. I would have been I would have been like I was a varsity swimmer. I wouldn't have been able to watch it. Probably had to go to practice, even though it was probably like at 5:30 in the morning. I probably would have been like, "What do you mean, Jimmy? I got to come to your house at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock, or even 7 o'clock in the afternoon to watch on not do something recreational on a Saturday?" Because I was a nature boy. Woo! And I was like doing something, finding something to do.
Yeah.
Like I was like that. At the theme song, I was a wild and crazy kid. Well, like doing something out in the public, riding my bike, trying to be cool, slow motion. Yeah, just boom, bumped into something. Yeah,
those were. I was gonna say because back then I was gonna say those were between playing baseball, riding the bikes, going to the pizza shops on Saturdays, hanging out at the mall, going to the high school.
Yeah.
Like, I would have not.
In their house. Besides,
I would have to.
We didn't have like you didn't have the Netflix, right? Rampage. We had to your mom. You had to tell your mom, and she had to pay what $50, like $40, 50, like
If I
for a pay
recall
per
right, it was
view.
like 49.99, or like either 49 or 50, because you either had the option of the standard definition or the high def, and then if you of course missed it, you had to wait until it was over, and then they allowed you to watch the replay. But nah, man, that's why I remember my first pay per view that I watched was oh my gosh, this was the Royal Rumble 2000. This is 2002, 2003. I know it was when Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, but it was funny because I was like, man, I was like just thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, there's just no way, man, I'd be able to do this on Saturdays. No, like yeah. Mm-mm. I,
So
I I I don't think I would have been as dedicated. Yeah, for real.
yeah,
I don't think I
I
would
would
have been
have
as
been mad.
dedicated.
Like my friend would be like, dude, let's watch pay per view. I'm like, you now today. Aren't we supposed to be doing random stuff? Getting in trouble, doing something, getting yelled at? We're inside your parents' house during a Saturday. Yeah. So here we go. Let's go back into independent wrestling because that's my favorite thing. I have a little crown, imaginary crown on top of my hat. There you go. So for you, do you have to like pack your bag the week of a show, like the day before or like the week before?
Mhm. So it's weird, man. I'm very picky. Like if I know I'm traveling like a few hours, then yeah, I like to pack like ahead of time. Like I'll pack like, like maybe like 2, 3 days before. But like if I know like all right, something is gonna be somewhere short or something, like I'm kind of last minute. As sad as it is to say, like I'm like last minute on that. Like I'll look through my gear. I'm like, all right, do I want to bring this, bring that? Wonder what? I'll just bring everything. And it's like I want to say I do and I don't procrastinate, but it's mainly like when I like travel out of state. That's where I kind of like I have to like prepare myself. I'm like, all right, I want to have everything because let's just say like, like roughly like, hey, we need you to like do this tonight, or you got to do this, and it's like if you don't have what you need, it's like, I'll try and make it work, but it's like you don't want to like have to improvise like that. You always want to be prepared. But no, yeah, that's something that like I do have to get better on. But I like to try and like pack like like a couple of days in advance.
So Rampage, what is the furthest you've ever had to travel to wrestle?
Ooh, the furthest I want to say is about like 3 hours from where I'm at right now.
Oh wow.
It's in Arizona, but this is it's Benson, Arizona. And Benson's like it's like honestly like a good like exactly like 3 hours, like give or take, like or traffic. And I actually have to drive out there not next week, but the week after that. And it's it's just like mentally preparing for that. Because like when I drive out there, sometimes I do like to like drive with some of my friends, but I like kind of like being alone like when I drive out there because like the views are just so amazing. It's just like you remember Fast and Furious when Paul Walker when he rode off
Yeah.
into the sunset, right? Just picture views just like that, and just listen to country music. I don't know if you listen
Oh,
to country music, but just driving through those views is just amazing. But I said to myself last trip, I'm like, all right, like the drive on the way back, it's not so fun because like after a whole day of wrestling and then having to drive back, it's like, yeah, it's like you're just, it puts a toll on you, man. Like it really, it drains you out. But I know coming up, this is everything goes well. I know I'm gonna have to be going out. I think to Nashville, Tennessee.
wow,
Um,
Nashville,
yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah,
Wow.
in June. So that's gonna be yeah, I believe like yeah, that'll be the farthest from where I
Wow.
have to travel. Yeah, but that's if everything goes well. I'm still kind of like in talks with this promotion. So, but as of right now, it's I want to say like 85% there. So, it's just making sure the accommodations there. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I'm
Awesome.
looking
If
forward to
any of
that.
my fans Rampage wants to pick up any of your merch, where can they find it?
Yeah, so right now they can go on the pro wrestling tees. I do have currently 3 T-shirts on there. You can just look up Rampage Michaels and then the Don of Arizona. That will populate. Those are three of my current like top selling T-shirts. Or if you want some merch, I'm actually going to be launching a website coming up pretty soon within the next upcoming weeks. That's something that's honestly I wasn't going to reveal it, but that's the big surprise for all the fans tuning in right now. So there's actually going to be Rampage Michael's website. I'm actually going to be doing some training videos on there. Merch is going to be on there, so it's going to be pretty cool because I honestly have about 6 or 7 new T-shirt designs that I'm going to be dropping soon for the summer. So
cool.
Yeah.
If they want to follow you on any of your socials, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Rampage Michaels. It's on TikTok, Instagram, of course, Rampage Michaels, and then Facebook, same thing, Rampage Michaels. I'm more active on Instagram. So, if you guys have any questions, of course, you already know who to hit up, but Instagram is the best because that's where I'm always up to date with as far as my promos and as far as my matches.
Awesome. Do you have any matches coming up if anybody's in Arizona and they want to attend any of your shows?
Yeah, so May 31st, that's actually going to be for Thunder Mountain Wrestling. This is actually going to be a pretty big match. It's going to be me versus War Bear Victor Ursus. This is in Benson, Arizona, and pretty much this is a feud that's been going on for quite some time, and scores are going to be settled because the last time me and him met, he actually jumped me from behind like a coward, and kind of cost me my #1 contender spot for the Vader Championship. And of course that didn't sit well with me, so I made sure Thunder Mountain officials booked a match for the 31st, and it's going to be at I believe the Benson Rodeo. But there's going to be scores to settle, and it's going to be a good one.
Rampage Michaels, I want to thank you so much for gracing me here on the Dudes at Ringside podcast. Finally, I'm Joe Panther III.
And I'm Rampage Michaels, baby.
And we will catch you in the next one.